Welcome to another in the series of the Antifragility Reframe podcast, where struggles become strength and stress fuels growth. I'm Dr. Frank L. Douglas, your host, and my guest today is Mr. John Spender, the founder of the Journey of Riches book series. He's a documentary producer and a 42-time best-selling co-author. His work focuses on mindset transformation and resilience. Among his works are the book Your Inner Knowing, which is a #1 international bestseller, and the important documentary, The Gift of Adversity, with thought leaders such as Jack Canfield and Dr. Michael Beckwith. That film explores how reframing adversity can unlock purpose, resilience, and transformation. Mr. Spender, welcome.
Thank you. Great to be joined with you. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, I know you're in the Bangkok area and it's late at night there, so I really appreciate your taking the time. So
It's a pleasure.
tell us a little bit of your journey that led you to this focus on resilience and transformation from adversity.
Well, I was illiterate till I was 9, and so I never thought I'd be in this position that I am today. I've now, founded the Journey of Riches book series. I've published 45 books to date with over 450 collaborations. And that came from, that early childhood where, I struggled just to the basics of the English language. And it was my second grade teacher, Miss Day, that called my mum up to school on the proviso that she was going to talk to her about my potential as a writer. Really, she was organising special needs tutoring after school hours, and that was a real turning point. And then 4 years later at the school assembly in grade 6, I was reading one of my stories that I had written out to the school, and so it was quite a mini transformation.
Oh, fantastic. And at that age, how did you feel?
Just embarrassed, ashamed. I was very good at being a class clown, so a disruptor. I was very much a disturbing element in a fun way in first, second grade. And Miss Day took me under her wing. And even when I progressed out of the third grade, I went back and I wrote my first story, Sausage Man from Outer Space, in grade 3. And took it back to her, and she gave me a scratch and sniff sticker and said that she wanted to talk to my mum about my potential as a writer.
Nothing like having a mentor, and how important way back then, as early as they're having a mentor.
Transformational.
So as you go ahead.
It seeded within me the power of self-belief, that things could be possible from circumstances that didn't look so bright, even from a young age.
The power of self-belief. And I think that's probably one of the very important elements of transformation, is that power of self-belief.
You've got to initially believe that it's possible, and before you can really know that it's possible.
So share with us some of the things that you have learned, and if you can perhaps tell a story or two to exemplify those things, to illustrate those things that that you have learned, how people have transformed their lives when dealing with adversity, and you certainly have done that as a child.
Yeah, well, so many different perspectives and stories. I see it and publish it all the time. From my own perspective, my career initially out of high school was landscaping. So I was a horticulturalist, Started a landscaping business by the age of 21, had council contracts, etc., Olympic Games contracts in 99. And the pressure was kind of too much for me. So often in transformation, it's not a straight line. It's not like, okay, I transform this, and then life gives me another challenge, another challenge. It's more like a roller coaster ride. And initially, it's really scaring and terrifying, and there might be many tears, and you feel like it's going to be the last roller coaster ride of your life. But after a while, you start to enjoy the roller coaster ride, and the corkscrews and the big dipper down and around and shaking you around. You can learn to laugh, even though it's terrifying, and you wouldn't necessarily wish it on anyone. And that was how my first business, when I lost that business through drug addiction, that was like a really scary roller coaster ride. And I lost my confidence for about 5 years to rebuild that. The gift was that I was able to make peace with a number of emotional significant events that I went through childhood, emotional, physical, and sexual abuse. And I was able to make peace with those elements and those experiences, the people that were involved, because unconsciously they were driving my life. I thought I'd build a brick wall around those experiences and just focus on being a success, material things, and without having an internal relationship with myself. So it's often said that if we can humble ourselves to humanity, to divinity, we can then serve humanity. And life has a way of doing that for us. And those experiences definitely did that for me. I rebound. I started another landscaping business 5 years later. It was more of a lifestyle focus. I went traveling, exploring around the world, which I still continue to do to this day, and living in different countries. And in 2010, I sold that business and transitioned into coaching, speaking, and writing. Then after 2 years of that, I had an opportunity to move to Bali and to run NLP trainings for a US company. I did that for 6 months, and then I hired a mentor who helped me move my coaching practice online. This is back in 2013, before the whole video thing was available, and clients were clients were a little bit skeptical about it. But I got enough clients to come on board, and my mentor said, rather than it be a standalone coaching program, why don't you have a book as part of it? And that's how A Journey of Riches got started. And then out of that came the idea for the film, that there is a gift in adversity. I know the correct grammar would be the gift of adversity, but I feel like it's actually in the experience. And so I find that it's the gift in adversity that's actually in it. I feel that that's the hard thing. Jack Canfield said that it's kind of like a gift wrapped in sandpaper. It is a gift, but it doesn't feel like it when you're opening it, right? But after a while, after time, it serves its purpose, and that's not always evident. But I feel like it's a muscle, through that anti-fragility approach, you automatically and through conscious recognition develop systems within yourself that then can serve you when you are faced with it again. So rather than maybe it was a level 10 challenge when you first went through it, when you're faced with something similar, it'll only be a level 7 challenge, and you'll be able to handle it a lot more easier. You'll have some systems that will come out to play. And the more that you can consciously be aware of that, then you can systemize your approach to handling adversity, because it comes a lot more easier, and for you to see the gift in it, and it serves you no end in the future.
And that is so important. And you mentioned the anti-fragility. It's the in, and it's it's not of or by, but it's finding that strength in the stress that you then find the transformation. I was wondering, and you mentioned the mentor. We talked about a mentor as a child and a mentor at a critical point. Uh, and also, which is interesting, is that as you did your own internal transformation, you actually moved from just the internal struggle to benefiting others, benefiting many, as you moved your business. Could you talk a little bit about, how that made you feel as you move from the internal struggles to now serving many?
Yeah, I mean, one of the stepping stones for me to bridge that gap was volunteering my time. I joined a coaching program. I had an epiphany where I just quit recreational drugs. That was it. The last time was 2010. I would still every now and then maybe have a line of cocaine or have an ecstasy pill at a party or something like that. And January 26, 2010 was the last time. I'd been doing lines in the toilet and I was washing the cocaine up my nose. And I caught my reflection in the mirror and I despised the person that I saw. And through that, I basically was seeking ways to improve myself and to really heal that aspect of myself that just despised just this neediness or this not enoughness and this, I guess, an abandonment wound, an abandonment of myself primarily. And that began the internal focus. I joined a year-long coaching program, which had an NLP component to it. And I volunteered my time at an organisation called Mission Australia in Sydney. I'd never done a presentation before in my life. And I've basically volunteered, thought it was going to be like a soup kitchen. But the paradigm at Mission Australia is teaching people how to fish so they can feed themselves for a lifetime. And so I was teaching subjects like facing your fear, the attitude of gratitude, anchoring, positive beliefs, feeling and experiencing unconditional love. And I just had these incredible experiences with people that were borderline homeless in crisis situations. And I noticed that I felt like I was having a heart attack on the way to my first presentation. And I noticed the shift when I went from me focused to them focused. And I gave them eye contact, remembered their names. You just gave them respect, like just general human dignity. And they didn't know how to handle it. They didn't know how to handle it at all. But many of them appreciated it. And it took me out of my own way. And that from that I focus to we, and I focus on what was going on in their reality and tailored the content and material to what I felt would best serve them. And that was a huge turning point for me. Principles, I would say, start small. Start small is something that I've adapted and that I live. That it's that consistent showing up every day that leads to you achieving your goals, vision, purpose, mission. And I find that once you're living from a place of service, mission, and purpose, then really anything is possible. And just living in a life aligned with your values is something that I've learned a lot from Dr. John Demartini, who's also in the documentary The Gift, in adversity. So that would be two principles that I feel like really serve you. And progress over perfection. Everything can be refined. Doesn't have to be perfect the first time round. And everything really is a step-by-step process.